Welcome back, fellow armchair generals. This is Gamer 1745, and I think this is it. I really think this is it. The start of the Pacific War in this episode. Mentioning that, if you're new here or you've been around but haven't, hit that subscribe button. It helps me out, helps you out, get you the videos. If you like, hit that ring that bell button if you want to be notified. I produce a lot of videos, so you may not want that. That may be because some channels I want to be notified, some channels I don't want to be notified when new stuff comes out. But if you like that, hit that. Also, tell YouTube what type of videos you like by hitting that like button. Prefer you not to dislike this one, but hey, if it's so bad, you can do that. But I would prefer you just to like the video, and I really love it when you make a comment, any sort of comment, just about. Say hi if nothing else. So yeah, so we're getting to the start of the Pacific War, and as I should say, if I didn't already, this is Hearts of Iron 3 with Black Ice. Now we're not going to start it just yet, but what we have done here is before the start of this episode, I went all around. I went and used some of my favorite things. This went through here, just went down the list of all of these air units, and all but this last one here, which is still just sort of forming. Launched a bunch of naval operations, and we can see sub command. We're sending out submarines. They're rebasing out in the European theater view of ours. So yeah, we're getting everybody sort of active. The commerce raider here is getting through the straits here now while you can, that kind of stuff. So we're not starting just yet, but we should be this episode. I'll definitely, you'll know it via the description or the event image. Like I think I said that last time, but it just, things got delayed. Okay, Army HQs, partially just thinking about all the things like this I needed to do. Army HQs advanced, very good. 45 and Corps HQs both advanced, which the big thing is now 16 hours and 8 hours, so delay between attacks have been reduced by. So that frees up some more technology spots. Okay, well, now that we are in 42, we can do this without the warning coming on that we are pushing too far ahead, and it's again another 16 total, would be 16 hours. Delay removed, and yeah, that would reduce delay between attacks as well. So we'll do that. So we got commerce raiding subs heading out. We've got a bunch of patrolling torpedo boat type things, as mostly anti-submarine. And I'm really not going to like if these get hit by some doom stack. I'm not really going to cry. I mean, I'm not going to be happy, but it's like, oh well. Where the big fleets I'm more cautious with because of my experience of playing as Germany, just avoiding stuff. So we are a little short on some supplies because we have too much Navy out here and too much ground forces. Okay, now we've got these guys. They're getting ready to go to here. So let's move out to Midway. Get ready for the Battle of Midway. Okay, yeah, they're staying at home. We moved these guys up here. Not patrolling, just everybody come up to Midway. No, I think we'll leave this battle fleet here. Okay, Yeah, they're getting ready. I had noticed this did appear here, as we can see. There's a lot of units, some just colonial militia and garrison troops, but some Gurkhas and some other really good unit types as well stacked here. Okay, and brigade HQs. And we'll move that over to here. And that increases, this naval HQs increases organization levels for most all ship types, if not all. I haven't gone through and looked and see each one of those, but it seems like it. Okay, so they've made it through the straits. These guys here are heading that way. I don't know. I'm gonna wait. I don't think I'm gonna wait for them to get down here. Okay, our fleets are moving out. Rendezvous at Midway. Light anti-aircraft for, again, most ship types. We're sort of already producing, well, a lot, but I think we'll do the fighter HQs. Okay. Okay, so we have a Marine division here, or some sort of Marine unit. I think because there are no defenses currently spotted, our 3 divisions with all of our air support. Okay, small arms advance, very nice. It's gonna start, well, eventually needing upgrades. And active sonar for submarines. I really don't get the visibility increase. Yes, when you go out and ping pong, you know, boom, or whatever, how you want to hear it in the movies, send out the little sound. I'm sure that is more visibility, but you'd only do that once you think there's enemy and it's a good time to do so. So I don't know, but everything else, yeah. Yeah, more speed's nice. Oh, we have a little bit more, so ski brigades. Might be useful when we head towards Alaska and whatnot. Let's do reconnaissance aircraft designs. Okay, so bunch of carriers there already, more coming. Okay, well, before they have much of a chance to react, let's come up here and hit. That. Let's come over here and take a look and see what's going on. Is Germany ready for a war with America? Well, I will say this right now. Now, you hear me bitch and moan a lot about a lot of things, and I think most of, at least when it comes to a gaming situation, I'm correct to do so. Right now, I want to sort of praise the AI. There are almost exclusively garrison units here, which is, I see one non-garrison unit, which is something telling me that the AI has figured out, hey, these are garrisons units, and we can garrison over here. And so that is a good thing. Now, the bad thing is, of course, there's no reserves, meaning we don't have, other than that, we don't have a few good units, a few, one or two armored divisions ready to deal with the counterattack. Up here, we don't have too many units guarding ports. And yeah, it's not every port guarded, which is not perfect. I don't know why they wouldn't move some of these guys up. Is it trying to create a front line there? I don't know. I just don't know. So, but at least it's garrison units and not. I guess. I mean, I'm reasonably pleased. Don't get me wrong. I'm reasonably pleased at what I'm seeing. I was sort of looking at it in terms of dealing with American or possibly even British invasions, but these guys shattered, it looks like, and are heading back. But it does tell me that, which is a very good thing, is that they're not trying to attack on the Eastern Front with, they're getting massively counterattacked right here, attacking or defending the East Front with garrison units and leaving, panzer divisions just hanging out, drinking some wine, eating some cheese in the French countryside. They're, actively looking at using them in combat. So that is a very good thing. The bad is just it's not prepared for what we're going to do to it. And what are we going to do to it? Bring in America. Yes, America. Okay, so at war with the USA. So at least December 7th. I don't know why we could do that so soon. We want to I guess this is what we want to do. Of course, and I will state this at the beginning of this. Now is the best time to quit being at all aggressive. You just go, yeah, good, great, we've won. Japan has its empire. It's controlling much of China. Yeah, we know this is a puppet state, and this is really a puppet state too. Is like in the Hearts of Iron 4 sort of version, highly integrated puppet state. That's even theoretically. I mean, it's sort of, the Japanese didn't have enough people down here that this was integrated into Japan, like, well, this is probably more occupied territory as opposed to puppet state. And we could argue that some of the Chinese territory is a bit more occupied and a little less puppet state, but whatever. So yeah, now's the time to quit. Boom, series over, game over. We've got the great Japanese Empire. We stay neutral, we stay happy, we do our best to trade with whoever we can, whether it's the British, the Americans. If they want to embargo us, fine, but we have this, and we just keep hanging out and letting the rest of the world fight it out. So we're all good. End the series now. I've won, we've all won. We saw how Japan could do it. Not that Japan could actually maybe do some of this, but hey, this is how they could have won. Defeated the Chinese and called it a day. Got a few puppets, set that up. We're over, we're done. And that is the smart way to do it. The best way to win is to not play the game of going into war. But that's not why we're here. Why we're here is to click this. Okay, aircraft and midget submarines of the Imperial Japanese. Yes, we have some midget submarines, one little unit of them, but there's no way that I know of to get them all the way out to Pearl Harbor or any other somewhat distant base, so I don't see their use. Japan actually, and I've seen only one photograph of it, probably because it was generally a secret thing at the time, carried their midget submarines on the main sort of deck. they were long and narrow submarines compared to other midget submarines. On the main sort of deck behind the conning tower, on at least one model of Japanese submarine and the 3 that I think they sent against Pearl Harbor, and the 2, was it, against Australia, or some number. That's how they got them into the area. And then the way it was mounted, you would have to come to the surface. The crew would, the 2-man crew, I believe it was a 2-man crew, would get into the submarine, and then the submarine would sink. And at some point, maybe there was a release mechanism where they released it before as they, sunk. I can imagine the thing sort of becoming a bit buoyant and then bashing into something as the submarine's going down. But I don't know. But get underwater and then release it, and then they go away. Don't know how they were expected to get back. I would think that would be a hard thing to maneuver to get back on. But maybe because I don't think at the time that they were really thought of as a suicide attack. I mean, they basically ended up being such. But I think they thought of it as being a good chance of a round trip. Now maybe they just figured, get back, meet the submarine, somewhere out at sea. Both subs surface, and the crew swim over to the submarine and just let the submarine sink, because that submarine is a lot cheaper than, say, a battleship or even a light cruiser, the Midget one, that they would presumably have wanted to put the torpedo in. So that would have been, worth the junking of the sub. And it would be, and I presume they would have known this, but it would have been highly valuable to get a few of those guys back, whether they successfully, sunk an enemy sub or not, so they could report, hey, this worked or almost worked, or it didn't work at all, so, so they could plan for future operations. So that's why I'm presuming it wasn't a suicide mission. Contrary to popular beliefs, these attacks were not a surprise. Americans had deciphered the Japanese code earlier and knew the planning attack before it actually occurred. However, due to the difficulty in deciphering intercepted messages, the Americans failed to discover Japan's target before the attack occurred. And under the command of Admiral Isoroku Yamamoto, the attack was devastating in loss of life and the damage to the U.S. fleet. Now, I would say they were... I haven't read any big thick book on this, but I've read some articles over the years. They knew that things were up, and they knew hours. I don't think a full 24 hours, but they knew hours before the attack was going to happen that not that there was going to be an attack, but the war was going to be starting. In the message to the Japanese embassy. The Japanese embassy was trying to going through this code breaking process, and the Americans had broke it before the Japanese did. Partially time of day, partially the amount of resources thrown at it. We got it before. But I don't think you had telephone communications to Hawaii at the time. I'm pretty sure you didn't. You had, I believe you had telegraph communications, and including a big thick wire kind of thing with maybe multiple channels on it, going under the sea. But doing I'm not doing good, I can't do Morse code, but doing that, transmitting that electronically, a hard signal, versus the vibrations of the voice across lines like that would be much more reliable. But maybe they had it. I just don't know, quite honestly, if they did. I know there were some transatlantic phone calls and such. And now that's also a lot of the radio that longer ranges was done entirely through Morse code or various forms of that kind of thing, so that it was much more reliable for longer range. Now, of course, they had shortwave radios and people, talking about all the ships at sea and whatever. And so there was definitely radio communication going very long range. but there, it's liable to interception. So they were trying to get the message out that to put everybody on alert. But like they say, I don't think they had any decent clue as to the idea that it was coming to Hawaii. I really don't believe they had any of that. Okay, however, difficulty deciphering the message Japan circuit. Okay. The attack was devastating in the loss of life and damage to the U.S. fleet at 6:05 a.m. on December 7th. The 6 Japanese carriers launched the first wave of 183 planes composed mainly of dive bombers, horizontal bombers, and fighters. The Japanese hit the American ships and military installations at 7:51 a.m. The first wave attacked military airfields on Ford Island. At 8:30, a second wave of 170 planes, mostly torpedo bombers, attacked the fleet at anchor in Pearl Harbor. Okay. So we are going. Obviously, we don't have a Pearl Harbor attack. Invasion. And if you missed the previous episode, I tried to see if these fleets could make it outside of Pearl Harbor or the island. No, I might have been able to get them out there if I would remove some of the destroyers or something. They just didn't have the range to get there. Now, of course, historically, they left Yokosuka, or maybe another rendezvous point, but somewhere in Japan, because we talked earlier about how they had the big sort of Grand Fleet meeting and then sort of broke up. They might have left from out here, and remember, this is a circular kind of thing, so coming out here and trying to avoid, like I do think it was up in Hokkaido area that they sort of met and did that all at once, so they had greater range with their destroyers. United Nations, we are in fact to resolve that more than 30 nations. Okay, yes, we're doomed. We're all doomed. Okay, we know that. We're going to go with small fleet and no need, because we don't need that. No need. Okay, we now have propaganda fail 4 because we are still working our way through Secretary of Public Information, which we're getting there. I don't know, where are we on that? Well, wherever. And Tokyo Express has happened to us. Supplies down by 10%. Supply throughput up by 50%, resources down. Okay, don't know. The Tokyo Express was the sort of common term for the supply effort by Japan, often off of destroyers, coming down for Guadalcanal, if I remember correctly. Oh, I forgot about all this. So much focusing on the Pacific, going after Hawaii, because that is so critical. Okay. Motorize. That's the one I want. Yeah. Okay. You attack there just to sort of grab hold. You come down through here. We're going to use our motorized assets, hopefully effectively. These guys are a bit slower, so we're going to attack there, and these guys are just basically going to defend there for the moment. Yeah, that's a bit weak. I did overlook this as doing, not that I forgot about it, but I just didn't really pay enough close attention as I should. I think that's who I prefer to have it under. Okay. You attack there. Yeah, I really should have better organized this up. You attack the military police. You join in that attack. You attack these guys. Move to, now you come this way. Okay, certain amount of speed would be nice. Okay. Oh, let's not send you through the mountains. Send you through these jungle foresty things. Now you guys can come up through the mountains. You should be able to get. Okay, you can't go through there, so you can come through here. As you can see, I made it so that it was a lot of units pushing this way. Push down to try to get the capital, and they can sort of hold the rear there. Okay, now here we have big battleship fleet. They're just going to move to here, and these guys are going to get on board that, and so are these. Basically all of these guys are just getting on board, all but the garrison troops, and then we're going to invade here, take that island down. Now when we get some of those okay, we have a few here. Not those guys are too slow. Let's move these guys up to here for our future invasion of the Philippines, which we're going to do. Right now I am pushing sort of for you know, Singapore first, and then we'll see about I'm canceling that because we may want to land somewhere in there soon. Well, this should be attached to invasion command. There we go. So we can find them again easy. Well, so far nothing's really challenged our fleet here. Okay, convoy spotted, but I guess too much for these guys. Oh, and I distinctly didn't, and I need to do so. Now, let's put up the fighters. I guess some are already sort of scheduled to be up. Let's win the fighter war here. Yeah, passive, I like that. And up here we have some fighters. Let's get a hold of them. No, air intercept. Seek out and destroy. I thought there. Oh, there were some allied fighters there too, I guess. Okay, that's cool. No, those are all allies. Help out with winning the fighter war in this region. Yes, yes, you're spotting convoys and are too weak. I get that for the moment. Yes, I am taking a little bit of a gamble by moving these guys unescorted. But I do have a lot of these units. We can go. We can see where our naval airstriking is happening. That's basically, well, also fighter coverage and things is happening there, and we can see our naval map mode where we are. Those are obviously the submarines, and then the patrolling ships get us sort of an idea of where we are. Patrolling for submarine suppression. Right now we're only doing submarine suppression patrolling with light units, these type of guys, and submarine operations, and then of course this is just here. So I've moved some fighters out, or some aircraft out there. Okay, you're not at war with anybody, that's fine. Ah, what is here? Somebody's here. Look like it. I mean, air or naval units, maybe not. Maybe just air units flying by. Okay, radar for destroyers and frigates has advanced. I'm going to presume, yep, all of these have advanced. They're all going to be on that. That helps all of that. Now let's look here. Small ship radar, yes, we'll shift to that. Capital ship radar, large ship radar, whatever, 43, that's close enough. Medium warship, yeah, 43, close enough. We'll do all of those. And this battle's won. Good. Good, we've won the battle. Nice of you. Okay, and this is looking like it's going well. Here, taking Guam against Guam Garrison, 14th Corps Headquarters, and United States Naval Battle Fleet Headquarters is out here. I guess that's that ship there. We're taking that down. And we are getting shore bombardment effects. Good. Now here, we're going after the first USMC defenders, I guess. And we are also getting lots of shore bombardment effects. Okay, snowfall ends, fine. Battle of Midway, we've won. We've won our Battle of Midway. Okay. Now, how big is... Ooh, okay, great, fine. Rebase. Rebase here. We're going to solve all of our supply problems, at least for these units. Right there, for right now. I do think we will solve all of them. May tell me that there's not enough supply even with all of that, but it is a level 10. Okay, what do we want? We would give them money for energy. I think not at the moment. Oh, have we been taking any naval loss? Or it doesn't look like it. Okay. Okay, so we've got this. Yay! You go back. Good. That will greatly reduce the strain of supply. Let's shift over to this mode. Well, I haven't gotten a little bit of activity. And we've won the Battle of Guam. Okay, great. No, stop. Stop now. Rebase to there, because we don't need this big a garrison here. I don't think we're going to be faced with an invasion from somewhere around here for Guam for anytime soon. So we'll pull these forces and use them somewhere else, and we'll eventually send in an island garrison type force. Okay. I think we're going to walk up this way. Sort of counterattack along there. Okay, has a day gone by? Can we now... yeah, supply convoys. Create a supply convoy. We'll go Tokyo to Midway Island. We need to do that. And also from Tokyo to Guam. Okay, and reinforcements. Oh, I probably forgot to mobilize my army or something. Yeah, I'm not used to doing that too much, or forget, and I'm used to forgetting about it actually. Okay, let's make actually more supplies than we need. We're going to cut down our production, but yeah, good. But also now, which is another thing we need to do, is okay. Tora. Combat move speed, yes, until September 42. Okay, September. We're gonna go with that. So burst of movement. But we can come over here and let's look at this. We can go to heavy industry. Money reduced, but of course we're probably going to lose some of that. But obviously, these will shift in 30%. But consumer goods during wartime will go down even more. Research will go down, but IC's 5% gain and efficiency another 5% gain. So we're going to do that. Okay, and Yeah, we're already doing that. War economy, we are at. Do we want to go to total mobilization? Okay, well, instead of 25% ICs, I think we can, yeah, we can go to total mobilization. From 25% plus to 50%, so 25% improvement. Money down, another big hit. Well, only another 5% hit. Leadership down, just more leadership into production. Reducing need, because one of the reasons, even if I could have, was, you know, like, need more supplies during peacetime. Officer recruitment up. Okay, so we have that. Heavy industry. What else can we do? Service by requirement. Let's look at that. National manpower up 10%. Leadership up 10% over 5, so 5% gain. Consumer goods during wartime, but we've had a bunch of other things that knock that down. Peacetime, well, we don't care about peacetime manpower recruitment. Reserve impact disappears. And officer recruitment goes up. So yes, we're going to do service by requirement. Okay, that will all help out when it recalculates the situation here. Where we can shift some of this around. So now these guys hopefully will be getting supply soon. And let's come over here. Oh, we got a light carrier, which we'll launch. We'll put that there, and we'll add you to the one group that isn't flying here, which they're doing their job here. Okay, these guys here. Now these guys are going to come up to here. Rebase. Let's grab them and send them here to rebase to carrier. Good. And let's put one of these guys that may, I built some extra, so I prefer not to lose any of these units, but if I lose some, I'll still have, the idea is that I have extra so that I can lose some, yeah, we'll put a long range fighter over here too. Can lose some battles and have immediate replacement is the idea, at least. Yes, you're not strong enough to deal with those. I'm getting the picture. Okay, yeah, you're attacking through there, you're swinging around, very good. Day of Infamy, okay. Yes, like I see, this is when we lose it. Okay, let's see, we want to fine-tune War Machine. I'm not sure what it does, but we're going to do it. I wish there was an explanation of some sort, other than the title. Home front, wartime measures, events, okay. I guess we'll do that. I don't know, I don't want to convert manpower events, I don't think. Wartime measures, okay, oh, well, this least, okay, we can do no need, lose 2 in descent. We have 4.5, or we can do this, national revolt risk down, energy up, great, money down. Consumer goods during wartime down a little bit, gain some metal, raw materials, manpower. Yeah, we're going to take the hit to descent. The manpower and officers are nice. I'm looking at energy up, which would be cool by 50%, and national revolt risk, because let's take a quick look at that. We can see here, doing pretty well, especially where we have some sort of cores. But as we already start to take more hostile territory, and we will be taking more, we would like the reduction in dissent. There still may be a minimum amount of dissent there. Okay. You can go there. You know, this has been exciting enough. I think we're going to end this, the first episode of the Pacific War. I want to thank you so much for liking the videos. Like I said earlier, if you hadn't already, please subscribe. Please post your comments. Love to hear what you think about things so far. It's really early in the phase. If there's a good enough reason, we could redo this, or just if you've got other little tips, please direct me there. I'm sure there are things, because I'm seeing things that I'm missing them. We will see. We will go after the Philippines very soon, and of course down, into the Dutch East Indies, and eventually down into here. But yeah, this is sort of our early fast focus. So see you next time for more Hearts of Iron.